What's happening, everybody? We are going to do another game review again with E3 just having their big explosion of all the trailers and all the reveals. We're going to go ahead and go with another one. Now, this is a game I'm actually very excited about. It's the game Anthem. Now, here's something you need to know about me and my type of gaming and my gameplay. I really do not like having so many games or so many different titles, and they're all kind of basically the same. But just to keep you informed, it doesn't mean I don't like those games. It's that I don't like spending a whole lot of money on something that was pretty much like the last game that just came out. You know what I mean? That's what everybody wants. They want something new. They want something fresh. And lately, within the past couple years, we've been seeing a lot of kind of the same style. And that's a very important word to me, style. When I see a game trailer, I look at the style. I'm a very artistic person. I look at the style of whatever kind of game it is. If it has vehicles, weapons, the characters themselves, you know, I look at all that together and I look at the style and I look at the theme. I'm going to be referencing that a lot. And again, I'm going to be mentioning quite a few different games just to kind of compare it, but that doesn't mean that I don't like those games or that, hey, if you find that game really awesome, that doesn't mean like I'm going down on that game. It's just an example. So just to start off, the trailer was amazing, and I'm going to get a little bit more into like why I'm really excited about this one compared to other games. Now earlier, like I said, I mentioned style. Lately, a lot of the games that have been coming out, it's just kind of been the same just clump of, you know, bigger armor, some weapons and whatnot. And I'm going to go ahead and refer to Halo. And the reason I refer to Halo is because Halo was released back in 2001 and it blew up. It just went crazy and people loved it, and it really set the bar high as far as like, you know, that type of style of game. And ever since then, we've been seeing a little bit more of a style. You know, within the past, you know, 15 years basically, we've been seeing more of those type of futuristic, you know, armor type upgrade games. And again, there's nothing wrong with those. Those are all really good, but I'm seeing just a little too much comparison every time I play these games. So I want something a little different. Now, when it comes to Anthem, it does have some of those similarities. However, it has very distinctive little things that make it its own. I'm going to be going into more detail about that. And again, like I said, I'm a very artistic person and I really look at these things. So when I say I see something different and I really am looking forward to this, it means I really am. But let's just go ahead and just get into Anthem and talk a little bit more about that. So first off, we see in the beginning trailer that there's a little tiny commotion between you and this other character, and he refers to you as a freelancer. So kind of like a bounty hunter type characters who you are. You're a hired person to basically do the job. And now when we go over here to the suits, this is something that I think is really cool because it's different. It's a little different. Now it kind of mixes in kind of with the Titanfall. Again, it's not a giant robot, so to speak, but you know, it's something that you actually kind of get into. That's a machine. It's not just like some armor that you throw on like Master Chief does. And that's just a little added component, and all the details in there as far as the padding, it really is really cool. And the place that you're at, this place is called Fort Tarsus. It's basically your safe zone, the hub area, or whatever you want to call it. And now for what I can tell in the trailer, I believe there's going to be multiple areas as far as like a little base to go to kind of upgrade your weapons or get ammo, or however this is going to play out. But all we've seen is just the one in the trailer, which we are known as now as Fort Tarsus. And the one thing I really find cool is in the trailer, you see two of these giant walkers, basically, kind of like from Star Wars, these two giant walkers. Obviously, it's just got its own look. And when I talk about the theme and I talk about the style, just the opening sequence of this environment gives a very like dystopian look. Like, you know, it's kind of, you know, something that's a little run down, but also futuristic at the same time. And that's something that a lot of games are doing now. But it's just got its own little feel there that makes it stand out a little different compared to some of these other games that have come out. And so that's something that I noticed, like I said, with the giant walking machine, whatever it's called, we don't know yet. It's just little added components that really make this game exciting for me to want to actually go and buy it once it's released. Now, this game in general is a single player or multiplayer open world game. So kind of referring back to like Destiny. So you can play by yourself or you can team up with a friend or two and you can play within this whole open world. Now, going back to the style, this is what I'm talking about. When we go off onto this, and now this is something I added or something that I noticed, is that your little safe zone area is on a high altitude area and you have to basically leap off to go to wherever it is the next mission is or where your objective is going to be. And so that's just a little something, you know, when you look at it, you're like, oh, so we need to be high away because this is obviously a very destructive area, and even just to go into it, we need to wear these suits, which they're called javelins. Now, as we jump down here and then we're flying with this jetpack basically, which is again a very nice, cool added component. There's a lot of games that have it. I see a little mixture of Titanfall with kind of the machinery, and then Destiny with kind of the idea of how the game works in general, because we're gonna see a little bit more as far as upgrades and whatnot. And then just the environment itself, amazing graphics, of course, you can see that automatically. And I get like an Avatar feel, you know, this really foresty big planet, and there's all these animals of different kinds of, you know, creatures that are just roaming around, and that pretty much everything wants to kill you, and you have to basically wear this suit just to go around anywhere. And you know, that's just something that I noticed, and it's just got its own really cool aspect. And of course, we've only seen one little clip of a trailer, and I believe it's gonna really earn itself a little bit more down the road. And again, same thing as kind of the area, like there was that trailer of Star Citizen, which is gonna be another amazing game, and it's kind of got that theme as far as like the building areas and the where humans are, you know, together. So it kind of looks like that as well. And just like any other game, I can tell with this being a free world type game that you're gonna have your main mission, and there's gonna be tons of places to explore. And we're gonna talk a little bit more as far as like the way you can build up your rep and your suit and stuff like that. But you can just go anywhere, and there's probably gonna be side missions all around, just like in any other game. And just the style in which you're gonna be able to basically go into combat, there's gonna be tons of options. Now, compared to other games, I don't really like those just, hey, here's a gun, go running into some buildings and get your points. This has a component of like actual strategy. You know, you can dive underwater, you can surprise by jumping out, you know, you can fly around, you can do all these little different tactics. So that's something that's really crucial to any game nowadays from my perspective. And of course, this was a very cool spot where you're able to just pull out that little targeting weapon, almost just like an Iron Man when he pulls out right on his shoulder, and then he can just identify all the targets and take him out all at once. So a very neat weapon that we're introduced here. Now here we are, and she goes ahead and grabs this basically triangle thing, and it's obviously some sort of legendary piece. It says it right there, it describes it as legendary, so it's a little reminder, a little something close to like, you know, compared to Destiny. You know, you do missions and then there's a little reward of whether it's armor or weapon or whatever it might be, and you can go and probably sell that to basically the hub where you just came from. And as long as we're talking about upgrades and whatnot, now you can see with just the couple people that are in this game so far, you see kind of a different style in these javelins or exosuits. So I believe there's also going to be a component as far as being able to have multiple javelin suits, one that does this, one that does that, kind of like different classes in other games that we've noticed. Now, something I noticed in this part is that there's a huge storm and there's literally trees flying by them. Now, obviously these javelins are very heavy weighted, but it still takes a great amount of force to basically not be even just barely touched by this wind. They're just running through it as if there's none at all. And then they just jetpack straight into the storm. And again, this is where it ends, and we do not know much right now. And it's still gonna be a while till this game's released, so there might be some more spoilers and whatnot that come out down the road. Which, speaking of release date, there is no specific date yet, but we do know it will be in 2018. Now, referring back to style, just another little quick review is that I've mentioned before that style is a very big important thing to me. Now, take for example, like I said, I mentioned a few games like Destiny, Halo, and even some of the Call of Duties now have just kind of gone to this futuristic robot thing, and it's all kind of been the same. And there's even a new game coming out, it was in there too, it's called Lawbreakers. Definitely a very interesting trailer, and it does have some, you know, cool components, but the style itself just reminds me of Destiny or even Overwatch, because it just has that kind of look. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. These games may be totally awesome. It's just more of the look itself that reminds me, I'm not quite in a different game. I kind of feel like this is almost just like a maybe side universe compared to that. Of course it's not, but it just looks that way to me, and that's an important component for any kind of game nowadays, for myself at least. Alrighty guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by to watch my video. I just want to do a very quick review of Anthem, because to me it's the one that I'm most excited about. Again, I'm pretty critical when it comes to games or even movies, and I really look at the style and the art and how it's all just laid out, and to me Anthem is one that I am particularly excited about. And leave a comment of something that maybe I missed, maybe something about the art or maybe the style, or just something about the gameplay itself that I didn't get to because I just did a really quick review. Also, maybe if there's another video game you want me to do a review about, put it in the comments, because if I get enough people requesting a specific game, I will make that video for you. But again, just thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you have not yet, go ahead and subscribe. I do game reviews, movie reviews, and also we have Larry the Stormtrooper and his crazy adventures, so be sure to check out those videos as well. But until then, I will see you guys next time.